Willie D Live.
What's up, family? Singer David, who has been charged with murdering 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, allegedly bought two chainsaws after the killing. Two. Yeah, I want you to check out this article in TMZ, and it is detailed. I had to let you guys see this, fam. This is heavy. David went on, this is according to authorities. David went on Amazon and purchased a couple of chainsaws after he stabbed Celeste Rivas and stood by while she bled out. This according to prosecutors in the case. According to new docs filed by prosecutors, investigators claim the singer stabbed Rivas to death at his Hollywood Hills home on April 23, 2025, after ordering an Uber to bring the 14-year-old all the way from her family's home in Lake Elsinore, California. I thought she was 14 years old. Once she was there, prosecutors allege David stabbed Celeste to death and the next day ordered a shovel from Home Depot, which was delivered to his home through Postmates. Come on, family. Come on. Listen. It gets way worse, fam. About a week later, on May 1st, they allege he purchased two chainsaws from Amazon, also delivered to his home, and 4 days later, followed up by buying a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool. Remember the pictures that they were showing before this? They were showing all of his pictures. He looked like a superstar. They were all of those pictures were, him performing and hanging out at his house and, kicking it with his friends and stuff. He looked like a superstar. He looked like he was a really young dude, right? Looked like a teenager. I think he's like 21 now, but he looked like a teenager. Now they got him looking like a real chainsaw murderer. They got him looking like the California chainsaw murderer on here. This is his mugshot. Police claim that David made the purchases under the fake name Victoria Mendez. The star allegedly placed Rivas's body into the blue inflatable pool to prevent her blood from spilling over on the garage floor. Prosecutors say he then used the chainsaw and possibly other tools to cut off her limbs with gruesome detail. Prosecutors claim, fam, you might want to, if you're eating or something, you might want to hold this, just put this on pause and come back later. Or you may not even want to check the rest of this out at all because it gets really, really gruesome. Prosecutors claim David amputated the ring and pinky fingers on Celeste's left hand because she had a tattoo of his name on her ring finger, which has not been recovered. And this is where they're saying that all the stab wounds were. This is the medical examiners. This is the medical examiner's findings. When detectives searched David's rental home in September 25, authorities say they found evidence consistent with the dismemberment of the victim's body in the inflatable pool, which contained multiple linear cuts. Several biological samples, which tested positive for blood, were collected within the garage area. The medical examiner's report noted that there were blue plastic fragments consistent with the blue pool material, according to prosecutors, found embedded in Celeste's body parts. As for when David and Rivas met, prosecutors claim it was way back in 2022 when she was just 11 years old. The docs say their sexual relationship began in November 2023 when she was 13 and he was 18. So I want you to check this out. Check this out. Now I gotta make this a little smaller so that y'all can see the whole thing. Check out David in court.
Calling People versus David Anthony Burke. That's case number 26 CJC F02399.
Good morning or good afternoon, Your Honor. Blair Burke, Marilyn Bednarski, and Regina Peter on behalf of our client, David Burke, who's in custody.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Burke.
Deputy District Attorney Beth Silverman for the people, Your Honor.
Thank you. And counsel, on behalf of your client, do you waive formal reading of the complaint, advisement of rights, including armed forces and veterans' rights, enter a plea of not guilty, denying any and all special allegations, enhancements, and priors?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you're requesting a preliminary hearing within the period?
Yes, Your Honor. From the media reports, apparently there have been 4 months of secret grand jury proceedings. We believe that Mr. Burke is entitled at the earliest opportunity to an open preliminary hearing and the proceedings not be done in secret. So we are asking for a preliminary hearing to be set at the earliest possible date on the 10th day. Your Honor, we believe the actual evidence will show David Burke did not murder Celeste Rivas Hernandez, nor was he the cause of her death. And we would like to be able to have the evidence come into the light of day at the earliest opportunity in order to establish that. We're asking for April 23rd as a 3 of 10, Your Honor.
Anything from the people?
We'll be very happy to put on the evidence that we've collected in this case in the last several months.
Thank you. So the matter will be set, plea of not guilty has been entered on behalf of Mr. Burke. The matter will be set in Department 105. The matter is ordered assigned to Judge Charlene Almeida in Department 105 for all purposes by the judge of the supervising judge of criminal.
Yes, Your Honor. If I may just put on the record, we have, as soon as the people arrive, delivered a informal discovery request consistent with Penal Code Section 1054. We have been given almost no discovery thus far. We've received a 3-page follow-up report, no autopsy report, and a copy of the complaint. And we would ask the people respectfully to produce discovery at the earliest opportunity.
Your Honor, as I indicated to counsel, there's approximately 40 terabytes of discovery in this case. Moreover, in order to obtain the transcripts from a grand jury investigation, counsel has to file a motion. She knows the way the system works. I'm not able to gather those. They have to be provided after the court orders them released because it was an investigation. Second of all, if counsel plans on going to a preliminary hearing within the 10 days, it is unlikely that there will be very much discovery provided within that period, given the voluminous nature and how long it's going to take to copy onto drives. In addition to that, the coroner's report was sealed in this case in order to prevent it from hampering truthful testimony from witnesses that testified at the grand jury. So an order will also have to be obtained in order to get the coroner's department, which is now the medical examiner's department.
Okay, fam, so you get the gist of what's going on right there, but check this out, fam. I'm about to tell you what got her killed, like what exactly happened. You know, the fact that she was already out of pocket, you know, messing with this older guy and running away from home back and forth. This is going to trip you out right here. Prosecutors also say it's clear when David knew she was a minor, Celeste's family first reported her missing in February and April of 2024. And according to docs, Riverside County Sheriff's deputies called David on February 17th after finding his number in Celeste's phone records. And he claimed he had last spoken to her on February 13 or 14, but also said he didn't know she was a minor or missing. Youngsters, this is why it's important to not act like you know everything. Sometimes when older people tell you stuff, it's because they've already experienced it or they just know better. They've been here longer, so usually they just know a little bit more than you do. So you should probably check, like really, think about your actions before you do certain things. When people are trying to tell you things to protect you, stop acting like all the time somebody's just trying to control you. Protection and control is two different things, but sometimes they overlap. Sometimes you have to control a person in order to protect them, because had Celeste's parents did a little bit more to control her, perhaps, she'd still be alive. But, hindsight is 20/20. We don't know. Celeste was very determined to do her own thing. She was very determined, but at the same time, we don't know what type of family home that she had. It appeared that she had a tumultuous relationship with her family, so we don't know what was going on inside of that house. Perhaps she thought it was better over here than it was over here, and she realized that she probably should stay put. They say Celeste returned home 2 days later and her parents took her phone. Although he would now be aware she was underage, prosecutors say David got back in contact with Celeste by paying a student in his class $1,000 to deliver a cell phone David had purchased for her. Now, I don't know if this is the transaction or whatever, but I don't know why somebody would record this or take a photo of that, but that's him doing some type of transaction with some kid. Prosecutors say throughout 2024, they traveled together as a couple to Las Vegas, London, and Texas, where she met his family. There are plenty of texts and explicit photographs during this time that make it clear they were having sex, according to the docs. The night before Celeste allegedly took the fateful 90-minute Uber ride to Davis's home, prosecutors say they had a fight over text about her being jealous he was hooking up with other women. And she threatened, watch this, fam, she threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with him to end his career and destroy his life. That sealed her fate. That's it. She threatened to disclose damaging information about her relationship with him to end his career and destroy her life. So this is a young chick who knew that she was messing with or was fully aware that she was messing with an older man, and that relationship could compromise him and get him in trouble, could end up it could destroy his career. And she held that over him, and I'm not saying this to give Buddy some type of pass or excuse. He gets no pass, he gets no excuse. But I do say this to underscore how cunning some of these young girls are and how they can be very, very aware of their actions and the implications of their actions. So she threatened to destroy his life. And at that point, something clicked in his head. And he said, you know what? She got to go. She got to go. I can't take no chances. She got to go. We've heard this type of story before, where women have told men that they were going to expose them. I've seen a few of these type of stories where women have gotten themselves killed by making these type of statements. Now, and this is a young girl, so let me be clear. This is a girl, this is a kid, but a female. Females have gotten themselves killed making these type of statements, making these type of threats. This is why I'm not a proponent of making threats. I say if you're going to do something, just do it. But I also believe that when you sign up for something, then you make your bed, you lie in it. This situation with this kid, it's a lot different from an actual grown woman, right? So you can't put the whole burden on she's still a kid. So You know, that's a little sticky right there. But we've seen grown women do stuff like this, and you know, and we've also seen grown men do things like this. You know, sign up for something, and then when it don't go like they want it to go, you know, they start freaking out. So David's first studio was, and this is what he had going on, and this is why in his mind he could not risk being exposed. David's first studio album was scheduled to be released April 25th, just 3 days after that fight. Prosecutors allege David started covering his tracks almost immediately. Celeste arrived at his home at 10:10 p.m., but at 10:30 p.m., he sent texts to her phone asking where she was. The DA's office believes that was part of his premeditated plan to cover up the murder. At 11:30 p.m. that night, 1 hour after the alleged murder, David drove to Santa Barbara County, attempting to dispose of Celeste's property and destroy evidence, according to prosecutors, and returned home early April 24th to do a radio interview to promote his album. On April 26th, he allegedly sent his final texts to Celeste's phone. Prosecutors claim David made 2 more trips to a remote part of Santa Barbara County after his chainsaw and body bags purchases on May 8th and May 31st, possibly to dispose of more evidence. They note Celeste's passport was found in that same area in January 2026. On July 7th, he ordered a burn cage from Amazon using the Victoria Mendez alias again, which prosecutors think he intended to use to incinerate evidence. Now, so as you know, Rivas's body was found in the back of David's Tesla back in September, and prosecutors say surveillance video confirms the singer was the last person to drive the vehicle on July 29, 2025, before he left to begin his tour. And this is his arrest.
Look, it's going to obscure my view from the gate. It's good.
If you try to run or if you try to resist, you will get hit with left feet going. It's gonna hurt.
I got you.
If you try to run, we have canine on premises and you will get bit.
I got you. All right, so the gate is locked. Do I open the gate? Sir? Open the gate.
And that's that, family. So once again, you have a guy who cannot control his little head. Let me tell you something, fam. All you men out there, young boys, there's 2 things that a man must be able to control in order to get close to reaching his full potential. That is his penis and his emotions. Get that under control, and the world is truly yours. R.I.P. Celeste Rivas. No more talk.